There's a lack of generosity in the world. So many people will take, and give back as little as they can. It happens within the families, between friends, neighbors. It happens with our corporations. The business model in business at this time, the year 2025 in America, is that the employers try to squeeze everything they can get out of their employees and give back as little as they can in return. That's the business model. With no loyalty to the employee, and if they can replace that person, even if they've been there 30 years, to replace them at a less of a cost, to find a way to either terminate the person or stress that person out to where they want to quit. Seen it many, many times. A lack of generosity, stinginess. At an interpersonal level, so many people cannot apologize. They could just give that word and say they're sorry in a sincere way, and it would be a great gift to the person, help their hurt feelings to be soothed. So many people cannot apologize. So many people can't ask for forgiveness. They can't say, I was wrong. You were right. Please forgive me. I'll never do it again. It's really not that hard to do, but if you put your pride above all else, it's hard to do. But as I always say about pride is a cold lover. You can't cuddle up at night to your pride. Alienate you from other people. People withholding. So many people, not them at all, but so many. So many people, if you give them 1 inch, they'll take a mile. You know people like that. Heck, you might have been, or you might even be that person. Very dangerous for individuals' growth to be this way. Very dangerous for the family. Very dangerous for the society. When a person is just totally self-centered and thinking only of their needs without a concern for other people's needs, that represents a lack of generosity. Generosity involves recognizing your needs are as important to you as my needs are to me, and I respect that. I recognize you're a human being, a unique person with your own wants, needs, and aspirations. And at a fundamental level, you're no different than me. That creates a unity as opposed to a duality. Creates more of a oneness. There are so many people that can't give positive feedback and say, hey, you did a great job. I mean, it was brilliant. You achieved more in 1 hour of this work than I could have done in a day. It was amazing what you did. And you came up with new ways to do it. Wow. Thank you. The lack of gratitude is another form of stinginess, a lack of gratitude. People are not expressing their gratitude to each other. It's like a worldwide disease. Lack of gratitude. True gratitude from the heart. Failure to just go, thank you. Thank you. That meant a lot to me, and I won't forget what you've done for me. A lack of generosity. Words are a form of being generous, a way of giving. Sometimes somebody just walking by and just say hello to that person. Hey, good to see you. And people aren't even giving that to each other. Very often they're not giving that to each other. You get on an elevator with a couple of people, everybody, it goes on as if no one else exists in that elevator. There's a lack of generosity. Well, good afternoon. Some acknowledgement that there's somebody else in that little universe with you. Lack of generosity. A self-centeredness. And a fear. People are afraid of each other. Fear of being exploited. Fear of being taken advantage of or attacked. That generates some of the stinginess. But certainly the bulk of it is just a matter of character. We're talking something that's a matter of character. The title of today's presentation is The Source of All Generosity. The Source of All Generosity. I'm dedicating this to a very close friend of mine, Joe Appolito, because I came up with the title when I was talking with him a few hours ago. The source of all generosity. And I'm going to tell you what that is shortly. But first, I want to describe to you the scope of the problem, the scope of the tragedy, the scope of a crisis, the scope of a disaster. The lack of forgiveness, the lack of positivity, the lack of gratitude, the lack of love. The lack of love. All of these are a stinginess. Somebody is in need. Most people won't check in on that person. Person's sick. Everybody's busy and has their own life. Are they going to call each day, see how you're coming along? Can I do anything for you? Pretty rare. Yeah, your spouse will probably do it for you, or your mother. But your neighbor probably won't. And that's a tragedy. That no one's checking in. See how you're feeling. Maybe they could bring over some soup. A lack of generosity. Sure, everybody's busy. But it might take, a couple of minutes. There's even a lack of generosity in a family. And a normal mother, a normal father did so much to raise you, to love you, to nurture you. But how many children call their mother or their fathers once a week, once a day, just to check in, not because you want something, just say, hello, Mom, I love you. Hey, Dad, I love you. A lack of generosity in the family. Everybody can say, well, they're busy with their lives, but that lack of gratitude destroys the quality of life, destroys the family unit, destroys the nation. Sure, in America at this time, we have some severe problems, no question about it. But don't we have so much to be grateful for as well? I don't hear much about the gratitude. People are so stingy about saying what they love about being here, what opportunities they have here, what freedoms we have here. I don't hear much expression of it, and certainly that's all fed by the media. It's all very ungenerous. It creates an animosity. The animosity feeds certain anger, divisiveness, and where you can't even recognize the humanity of people who have a different view, a lack of generosity. It's one thing to say, you have a different view than me. I really don't like your politics at all, but you're a human being, and I respect your right to express it. And we have to find a way to get along and be together. And I really feel you're sincere. I don't like what you're saying, but I feel you're sincere, and that's a positive thing. And I'm glad to hear your point of view, even though I don't like it. That's being generous. That's generous. You're never going to hear, practically never. Oh, no, never. It's a lack of generosity. Everybody wants to be respected. How hard is it to show respect a stranger, show respect to a coworker, show respect to your employer? How hard is that? Doesn't happen much. It's like everything we're withholding, a stinginess, a lack of generosity. And I'm going to tell you the cause of that. What's causing this? And when I tell you about what causes it, then I'm going to tell you the source of all generosity, how we can overcome this. Now, certainly we have many generous people in the world. People do many good things for each other all the time. I'm addressing one dimension of what's going on. There's so many beautiful people doing beautiful things. I'm addressing an issue going on, but it needs to be paid attention to. A lack of hospitality. You need something, come to my home. Let me feed you. Let me take care of you. It's not that generosity. Oh, someone comes out of fear. You see somebody laying on the sidewalk. You're afraid maybe it's a drug addict or dangerous. You just step over them or drive by them. It's like a human being laying there. Now, that one has a certain dimension of fear. You say, well, if I touch him, maybe he's got all kinds of germs, or maybe he'll attack me. So it could be done in a way where you stay safe. Person can just drive alongside and say, hey, brother, need some help? It's not happening. It's not happening. A lack of generosity. And the generosity has to do with giving our time, giving our effort. Going through a little inconvenience for another person, a little inconvenience. People don't want to do it. Many people don't want to do it. I don't know you. I don't want to know you. And why should I do anything for you? I'll go on with my life. That's a problem. You multiply that enough times going on, and then you have a very alienated, isolated, lonely people. People who will not be able to trust, at least to a failure of trust. And without trust, that's what holds a society together. Trust in the institutions, but trust in the goodwill of your fellow human being. This is a huge problem, and I'm going to tell you the source of it. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you the source of all generosity. The source of all of it, not just some of it. The source of all of it. I'm Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. I've been a licensed clinical psychologist in the state of California since 1974. Been in the profession for over 50 years. I finally have a pretty good idea what I'm doing. It took a while, but I caught on. And I've had the privilege to walk amongst the people of this planet for over 84 years now. And that's been a great privilege for me. And it's a great privilege for me to be able to give you these understandings, to bring this to you. And I know that you recognize the truths that I'm telling you about. I'm not telling you something you didn't know. I'm simply focusing a light on it. You already know this. Nothing new. And when I tell you the source of all generosity, it's not even going to surprise you. Everything I'm going to say to you, you know. Now, you ready? I'm going to tell you the source. I'm going to give you one word that is the true source, people don't know, is the true source of generosity. Honor. The source of all generosity, all of it, is honor. Now I'm defining honor as loyalty to your highest constructive values as enshrined in the 4 commands of honor, while striving to cause no harm emotionally and physically. So now we're going to the 4 commands of honor. So it involves not wanting to cause harm. So you want to be generous, because if you see you're hurting somebody, as you become a more and more honorable person, you will refrain from that, or you repent and correct the dishonorable behavior. Here are the 4 commands of honor. I wish you well. Look how generous that is. To wish somebody well is the height of generosity. And then if you can even apply that to your enemy, you might think, I don't like this guy, but I wish you well. Having that thought, I wish you well. That's generous. Wow. I may have to protect myself from you and neutralize the damage you're going to do to me, but I wish you well. It's one of the 4 commands of honor. That is true generosity. Generosity of the heart. I wish you well. You've done some things to me that have been harmful to me. I may have to sue you. I may have to do whatever to help neutralize that or become whole again. But I wish you well. That has inherent in it a dimension of forgiveness. One of the commands of honor. Another command of honor, I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. It's very generous. Why am I saying it's very generous? Because you're not just going to be blaming somebody. You just blame and say, you did this, you did that, and I'm so upset with you. You did this and the other thing, and now look what's happening to me. I'm having this kind of problem and that kind of problem, financial problem, emotional problem. It's all your fault. That's very ungenerous. That's very stingy. You know what? You might feel that you started this problem, but you know what? I've added to this problem, and I apologize for co-creating the problem, for what I've added to this. I co-created. I apologize from my end. Person may or may not apologize back, but that's generous. You didn't hurt the person by getting angry and yelling or becoming violent, emotional violence or physical violence. No. I co-created this. I apologize to my end. I co-created. I added fuel to the fire. In your mind, you know that person started the problem, but you look honestly at it. Honestly, I jumped into it. I should have done X, Y, and Z. It wouldn't have gotten this out of hand. You can apologize for that. I apologize. Please forgive me. I've definitely co-created this problem. That is generosity personified. That is generosity. And as you well know, very rare. I'm not going to say totally non-existent, but close to it. Very rare. Some cultures are worse than others, but the lack of generosity in terms of taking responsibility for adding to a problem, whether it's interpersonal, in a family, in a nation, between nations. Wow. You're the bad guy, I'm the good guy, and I got to do something to you now. You're the bad guy, I'm the good guy. I got to do something. Absolutely no introspection, self-awareness. You know what? You did was wrong, but I've co-created some parts of this. I want to correct myself for what I've done wrong. To do this, you have to put honor before pride. Honor before pride. As I say over and over again, pride is a cold lover. Put your pride first, just going to have a hard time with it. This requires, the way of honor will bring more humility to you, as you become more humble, and the connection is a generosity in being humble. Being arrogant and always saying you're right and the other's wrong, it's not generous. It's not true. It's not generous. This is doable. We can become more generous. We can become a more generous nation. It's doable. Absolutely doable. Third command of honor. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. So I'm in a situation. This person, because of this person did, I'm going through this suffering. Because you were smoking around me, I got this cancer from the secondary smoke. But I know in some way I'm going to come back stronger from this. I'm grateful for the power I gained from this hardship. It's going to make me stronger spiritually, emotionally. It's going to give me more compassion for others who go through it. That's doable, no matter how severe what's happening to you. So then you're not walking around in a state of upsetness with the world. It's not generous if you let yourself, if you just feed negative narratives about what's been done to you, what your hardship you're going through, because then you're not equipped to look after the needs of someone else. You're so consumed with what you're going through that you're not looking after a family member, a coworker, a friend. You allowed yourself to get totally consumed. That's not generous. It's not only bad for you, it's bad for everyone around you. So when you enter a more constructive perspective, that is an act of generosity because it allows the energy flow, the perspective to expand and embrace the universe, your fellow citizens, your family, your friends. Allows the perspective to embrace them because you're not totally constricted into this victim narrative. When you go into a victim narrative, and that's going to constrict you. That's going to reduce the power of your generosity because you're this hurt, angry victim walking around. Now, 2 ways to deal with that. I wish you well. That helps with it. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. Well, I'm not a total victim. I co-created this hardship. I could see that. I want to learn from that and not do it again. And I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship because I know I'm going to come out of this stronger than ever. This all leads to a generous view of the universe, a generous view of life itself. Then the 4th command depends whether you believe in God or not. If you believe in God as I do, God, your wish is my only wish. Now, or those who believe in God, being generous and following the will of God are right in line. If you're being totally selfish and self-centered and stingy, there's not one religion ever, whether you're talking about Christianity, Baha'i, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, not one of them, not one says, thou shalt be selfish and just think of yourself. Not one. None say, just look after number 1, yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. Your responsibility to your divine nature and to your higher nature, your higher power, is to be selfish and look after yourself only. None. From the beginning, there was no beginning to the end, there'll be no end. None. They'll all say some variation like, love thy neighbor as thyself, or as Jesus said, love one another as I have loved you. So that one, God, your wish is my only wish, will optimize generosity. A lot of people call themselves this religion, that religion, the other religion. I'm sure it helped at some point, and maybe it's helping now to some extent. But a huge lack of generosity. Huge lack overall. Now, for those who don't believe in God, who don't want to address God, they say, I seek always to serve my highest values. Now, most people with the highest values has to do with giving back to others, giving back to society. Not all, but probably 99% of all philosophies have that. Give back. Do what you can to make a better world than you found it. Do something, add something to society. Almost all philosophies have that. All religions have that, but most philosophies have that. So you see how we're talking about honor is the source of all generosity. Then to optimize this, that our people take a pledge to commit their lives to reciting the 4 commands of honor all their lives. So our people take this pledge. As a disciple of honor, I pledge myself all the days of my life to the 4 commands of honor, and I'll teach them to those I love. I'll repeat them every morning, afternoon, and evening, and I'll listen to myself recite them. So it requires to really be able to live this life that will lead to true generosity. And you need to do this all your life. Then you need to repeat it 3 times a day. Now, when I'm talking about generosity, it can be misleading. Somebody could say he's on a date, pays a lot of money to take a girl out, pays $300, $400 for a meal. And if he's doing that out of generosity, that's great. But if it's transactional and he's buying her this meal because he wants to have sex afterwards and wants to obligate her to do that, well, that's not generosity. True generosity, you're not looking for the return. You're giving that out of the fullness of your heart. You have some people, and I'm sure you've met people like this, they do for you, do for you, do for you, and unbeknownst to yourself, they're bookkeepers. And by bookkeepers, I mean this. They keep in track what they did for you. And then they start acting entitled to get this from you, that from you, the other things from you, and you didn't know that came with the package. You thought it was just friendship. But there was a catch. No, I've done this, now I expect you to do this for me. You owe me. Well, the person presented himself as a friend, but it's not real friendship. That's not being generous. You just appear generous at the moment. Then you want to optimize the probability you can apply the commands of honor in any situation. And that's where the bridge comes in. It's a bridge between honor and reality. And the bridge is this. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? What is the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? So you're doing that 3 times a day with the commands of honor. You got to do it all your life to really manifest the fullness of this. And then any situation you're in, that's the determining factor. What is the most honorable thing for me to think, say, and do in this situation? What is the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? So you're not looking, in this paradigm, you're not looking for happiness anymore. This path doesn't indicate that looking for happiness. No. We're looking for honor, which, as it turns out, is the foundation, absolute foundation for true happiness and true peace of mind. Basically, it's a life of no regrets. When you're 95 or 105 or 120, you'll be able to say at the end of your life, I led an honorable life and I have no regrets. That's beautiful. That's being generous to you. Living a life of honor is how you truly show you love yourself. Truly loving yourself is not necessarily go out and buying a new car or, buying a new house. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But I wouldn't call that loving yourself. If you're being dishonorable, you're stealing the money to go do that, and then you have all kinds of worries and anxieties about being caught, or you've hurt somebody else to do it. No, it's not. That's not self-love. Self-love is living with honor. Sure, get that pedicure if you want it, get your hair done. That's great. Let's just call that pampering ourselves, and we all need these things at times. There's nothing wrong with it. It's great. Do it. But don't call it self-love. It's not. Self-love is only one way to love yourself. Only one. to live honorably. End of story. That's the whole thing. Most people don't know that. My patients, I tell that to them. But if you talk to anybody, you say, what does it mean to love yourself? Nobody's going to say that to you. They're going to say, give yourself a treat. You want to buy that motorcycle? You want to get that haircut? You want to buy that suit? You want to get a nice massage? They think that's loving yourself. It might be part of it if you're getting that massage so you relax more, and that way you can be more loving and giving and serve others more. Well, that's one thing. But then it becomes, again, honor, to serve honor. The only way to love yourself is to live honorably. And the only way to manifest true generosity and true greatness is through honor. That's it. That will release and manifest your nobility and your dignity is through living with honor. It's the source of self-respect, living with honor. If you take the affirmation, I love myself, I respect myself, so much, and you look in the mirror, I love you, I respect you. That's not loving yourself, respecting. You just try to hypnotize yourself into just saying this and say to your friend, I love myself. I love me. That's words. If you're not living honorably, you're going to have regrets. You're going to damage yourself. You're going to damage others. There's no self-love in that. Not really. Well, it's been my pleasure and my great enjoyment to present to you the source of all generosity. I'm going to open up to our wonderful, beautiful, lovely people here with the understanding that when you speak, people benefit as much or more than when I speak. So I want you to feel free to ask questions, to make any comment you want, any comment at all. And I'm opening it up now for your comments.
Hey, Doctor, it's Joanne.
Joanne, always good to hear from you, dear Joanne.
Hi. I'm going to go see my aunt. She's 85. I'm going to go see her this week. And I never realized how honorable it was to go see her. She's always been kind of mean to me.
Well, that's especially honorable when you go. I've heard that's very generous. That is so generous. She's been mean to you, but you're still going to go out of a sense of duty, out of a sense of honor. You're going to look after how she's doing, to express whatever goodness you can towards her.
I'm gonna take a whole extra day just to take care of her, and I never realized it until tonight. Thank you, Doctor.
You're most welcome, dear Joanne. Joanne, yep. You're such a beautiful human being. I want you to know I have so many of my people who are taking care of their relatives, their mothers, their grandmothers, their aunts, their uncles, in addition, of course, to their children. And a lot of times it's been taking care of people that didn't treat them well. We have so much generosity from the people that I see, so much honor.
I never realized what a great thing it was until tonight. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you understood. Of course, I have understood the beauty of who you are, the magnitude of who you are, but I'm glad you catch on a little bit to how noble you are and honorable you are. I'm very glad to hear that, dear Joanne. Thank you. Thank you for that input. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Hi, Dr. Nerenberg. It's Bert.
Bert. Okay, Bert. Very good to hear from you.
Hey, Dr. Nerenberg, do you feel like generosity contributes to a more equitable society?
Absolutely. Absolutely. People try to make it more equitable through governmental regulations and taxes. But a generous person would say, I have more than I need. Let me give some to you. That would be more equitable. I'm very rich. You're working 2 jobs and you can barely feed your children. Let me do something. I don't have to do it through the government. I want to do that for you. I want to do that. I'm seeing you. Let me see what I can do. Absolutely. More equitable society is definitely tied to being generous, which of course is an offshoot of living honorably. Absolutely. Yes. There's some other thoughts that could be used. I used to call them power thoughts. I have more than enough. That thought leads to more generosity. I have more than enough. Those Your needs are as important to you as mine are to me. Your needs are as important to you as mine are to me. See what I can do for you. I understand your reality. In other words, saying to yourself, oh, I love to give. I love to give. That will lead to a more generous approach. And it costs me nothing to give a smile, to say a kind word, give some time to this person. It doesn't cost me anything. That leads to a more generous approach to life. It doesn't cost me anything to give you a kind, sincere word. Absolutely, a more equitable society. There's individual, family, and societal implications of what we're discussing. Absolutely true, Bert. Thank you.
Doctor.
Yes,
Doctor, I know your wife. She's another amazing person.
Thank you. I agree. Thank you. Hugh, you were going to say something.
Give, and it shall be given unto you.
Yeah, Hugh's quoted scripture, give, and it shall be given unto you. Yes, when Jesus said, forgive that you be forgiven, judge not lest you be judged. It's the statement, what goes around comes around, karma, all these things. Now, the truth is, you don't want to give so it can be done unto you. It's okay, but the true motive of a person following the way of honor is not to give so it should be done unto me. I'm not going to do for you because I want it done unto me. No, I want to do for you because that's the honorable thing to give. Whatever's done unto me here or hereafter, that's not the point. But honor demands generosity. Not to a point where we totally impoverish ourselves, but honor demands generosity. To give, not so be done unto us, although that happens, but that's irrelevant. What matters is I'm going to give this because honor demands it. I don't expect anything back. I don't expect anything back from God. I don't expect anything back from you. I don't expect to be recognized for it. I don't expect to be praised for it. I'm just doing this out of honor. That's the highest form.
It's one of the rewards of living.
It's one of the rewards of living with honor. Certainly there are rewards, but again, and I'm really glad you're saying these things. You're really glad. We're not looking for the reward. We're not looking for a good feeling. We're not doing it to make ourselves happy. We're not doing it to feel, wow, pat myself on the back, I'm a good guy. We're not doing it for any of that. None of it. I'm doing it because it's the honorable thing to do. It's an end in itself, to live this in the purest form. Nothing wrong with patting yourself on the back sometime or knowing God's going to reward you for it eventually. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm doing it because honor demands I do it. Doesn't matter who knows about it. I'm doing it.
Doctor, I've known you for years. Amazing.
Well, thank you so much. I think you're amazing. You're a sweetheart, absolute sweetheart. Very kind, very loving woman. Very beautiful. Thank you, Joanne. Yeah, so I'm talking about the purest form of generosity, the purest form of honor. As a matter of fact, sometimes being generous or honorable may not feel good. It might be a pain in the neck. You might see, for example, you're driving your car, you see a dead dog on the road, people are running over it. You don't want to stop, find a spot to stop, go back and drag it off the road out of honoring that dead body. You don't want to do it. It's a pain in the neck. You find a spot, you go, come over, you wait for traffic to stop, you find some branch, you move over the dog to the side, so it's not just being run over. Well, it's not a good feeling. That's a pain in the neck. It's a big inconvenience. And it slows you down to getting where you're going. A person that I did out of honor didn't feel good. I didn't want to do it. I did it. I didn't want to do it. But honor demanded it.
Of living a life of honor.
You did it, though.
Self-respect are much higher.
Yeah. So the self-respect and self-esteem will go up as you live honorably. But again, a person is not going to say, well, I want to raise my self-respect. That's very true, and I'm glad you said it. It's not like, oh, I want to raise my self-respect. I want to have more self-esteem. I want to love myself so I'm going to live honorably. No. That's one way to do it. But again, you're looking for a reward, a payoff for being honorable and generous. To live this, it's an end in itself. It's an end in itself.
I'm just trying to make the point that there are benefits to living.
There are definite benefits to living a life of honor, and it's also a lot of loss and a pain in the neck to do it as well. It really is. It just is. Now, but again, the point I'm really glad you're bringing this up here. It really helps me clarify the point. Honor is the end in itself. That's true generosity. If I say, well, I'm going to do this for you, so I will have more self-esteem. I want to do this for you, so I'll love myself more. Well, that's okay. Better than not doing it for the guy. But it's not as high or noble as I'm just going to do this for you.
But doing it because it's the right thing to do, because it's the right way to live, will increase benefit that you're not looking for, but you get them because of the honorable life.
Yeah. Listen, we're a nation that we all want benefits. We sign up for benefits. We have a job, we want the benefits. And so it's only true. But again, the benefits you're going to get. As a matter of fact, if you got no benefits at all, you don't feel better about yourself, you don't get more self-love, nobody cares you did it. In fact, it's going to cause you some loss and inconvenience. Honor still demands you do it. That's generous.
And I've known you forever, Doctor.
I know.
You are honorable.
I've known you since you were 18.
Are honorable.
Since you were 18. Well, listen, I'm an imperfect human being. I've made a lot of mistakes.
We're all imperfect.
Yeah, but to my mistakes and my stupidity, I came to understand what I needed to do. I didn't start catching on in life till about 70 and 84. I really finally understand what I'm doing. I was a slow learner to catch on to what this life was about. That's why I can tell you these things. I've gone so many wrong ways. I come to understand. And then, of course, I had the teachings and the divine guidance, the manifestations and divine teachers that helped. And I get the promptings of the Holy Spirit that are available to all of us to then manifest these ideas. None of it comes from me. I just follow the promptings of the Spirit.
I know. They come from the Spirit. I believe it.
None of it's from me. None of it's from me. None of it. If I cause you any harm, that's me. Any good you get from me, and I'm not doing this out of modesty, that comes from a higher source. Absolutely true. Who else has something you'd like to ask or say?
Dr. Nerenberg, Diego here.
Diego. And then somebody else was going to say something, but Diego, I want you to please speak.
Thank you, Dr. Nerenberg. By the way, I see you looking nice and fit there, buff with that shirt. So
thank you so much. Thank you. It's a job staying fit and buff, pain in the neck sometimes, but staying alive is a full-time job, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Diego.
Yeah, Dr. Nerenberg, thank you for shedding light on your thoughts on generosity. So one of the things that I struggle with generosity, that I sometimes feel that people take advantage of my generosity.
Now,
family, friends. I try to be generous, and it feels good to be generous. At the true core of me, I am a generous person. However, I have to kind of limit that generosity every now and then because people do take advantage of that. So what are your coping mechanisms for that and your advice?
Wow, Diego.
People take advantage of your generosity.
You are amazing, Diego. Just amazing. So right on. Sometimes what looks generous, it's not generous. You're enabling the other person to be dishonorable. That's not generosity. If you give $1,000 to a meth addict, that's not generous. You're enabling him to get some more meth and kill himself or go out and attack somebody because meth really can create violence. That's not generous. You gave him $1,000. You're actually creating harm in the world by giving him $1,000. So if what you're going to do for somebody will enable that person to take advantage of you, to dishonor himself, to assist somebody, to dishonor himself or herself, That's not being generous. That's enabling the person to destroy their character. That's not generous. Sometimes the most generous thing you could do is say, no, I'm not going to do that for you. Absolutely not. No way I'm going to give you that. I respect you too much. I don't think it's good for you, or you don't have to give it to you. I'm not going to do it. That might be the most generous thing because that person may really dislike you for it. So you're not going to give that to me? After all I've done for you, you're not going to do that for me? No, I'm not. And the reason you're not is because you know the person's going to do something very disruptive with it. That's the answer to it. Giving to that person who's going to be taking advantage of you, which is very dishonorable. You've enabled the dishonorable behavior, which you enable that person to destroy their own character. That's not generous, is it? Very good point, Diego. I'm so happy you brought that up.
Thank you, Dr. Nerenberg. I appreciate your insights on it.
No, boy, I really appreciate your question. Someone else had something you were saying as well. We had a number of people speaking. Please speak up.
Dr. Nerenberg, it's Amber.
Oh, Amber. Wow, Amber. Wow, lovely Amber. Great to hear from you.
Hi. No, I just wanted to bring to your attention, there's a question for you in the chat.
Oh, I
You want me
can't
to
see
read it to you?
Please do.
How can I learn to tolerate an unkind coworker? I do not enjoy working with her at all.
You know, there are a lot of unkind people, a lot of good people in the world, but a lot of unkind people. All you can do in your mind is wish that person well. If the person is disrespectful to you, that's not acceptable. If you allow that person to step on you, disrespect you, you're enabling that. That's not being generous. You have to find some way, if you can, say, listen, I treat you respectfully. I appreciate if you treat me respectfully. Or you go to, if that doesn't work, you may have to file a complaint or whatever. You may have to get a new job. You know, being generous and living honorably doesn't mean you're a doormat. Doesn't mean you let people walk on you. Oh, no. You wish them well, even if you have to report them somebody. I wish you well. But you say, I wish you well. Doesn't necessarily mean you hope they win the lottery. It might mean I hope you become honorable someday for your own good and the good of everyone around you. Amber, thank you for reading that to me. I don't see the text on the screen, so thank you.
Of course.
That was a great question. That whoever asked that was a great question. A great question. And Amber, if you could read any other things that you think I should read, that's good because I don't see it. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Who else has something you want to say or ask?
Hi, Doctor.
Hello.
This is Jose.
Jose, always good to see you, Jose.
To see you, Doctor. Me personal, I believe that generosity is when you not expect anything from nobody else.
Thank you. Exactly so. Exactly so. Otherwise, it's transactional. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. Well, nothing wrong with that, but I wouldn't call it generosity.
Just do the best for you and for others, and do not expect anything in return, because that will put you in a different situation. And
exactly so. Very wise, Jose. Yeah, when you do something and you're expecting something in return, you're going to be disappointed. You might even feel betrayed, let down. It could lead to problems. You expect that person to give to you as you gave to them. If you're expecting that, I can't tell you how often you're going to be disappointed, because very few people will reciprocate your goodness to the extent that you are. I know some very generous people that give, and they get disappointed that nobody's giving to them. They have to do things like this. Wish you well, I gave and did what I felt the order demanded. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you for saying that, Jose. Excellent,
yes.
Jose.
Yes, Doctor. Good to see you and good to see everybody.
Yeah, it is.
Good meeting today.
It is a very good gathering of beautiful souls.
And I have this type of moments in my life, especially right now in those last 7-8 months.
I've been getting more blessed. I've been blessed more for having gotten close to me, and I see more. I see my family knocking the door to come back as a family all together. Me, my wife, and my 2 boys. It's getting close.
That's what life's about. That's what matters in life. And you could say God is generous. I mean, for those who believe in God as we do, God is most generous. All that's been given to us, 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 kidneys, 2 legs, so many things that we are given, go on and on, naming them. Well, that's really generosity.
Yeah.
That's generous. The guidance, the holy books, that's generous.
Yeah.
That's generous. So that's our example. When we're grateful for what's been given to us, that will help increase the probability that we'll be generous to others and increase the probability of it. Absolutely true.
And I'm grateful to meet you, Doctor, and all your staff.
Thank you. I'm grateful to meet you, Jose. And yes, meet the staff. We have a beautiful staff. Beautiful. And lovely.
And I keep working on my exercise. I keep working, walking, yoga. And I feel in my emotional, I feel better. And I'm really seeing when I came back to work, now I'm going to do what I really like to do.
Life is short. Pursue your passion. A job is good to do to pay your bills. A career is a job you enjoy, but a calling is something you would do for free if you could afford to, and a destiny is a calling you'd actually pay to do if you could afford to. Go for your calling. Go for your destiny. Life is short. You want to make it count.
On a count, exactly, Doctor.
Jose, I would say you have a perfect philosophy. You're a deep man. You're what I call a real deep, and a rare man. Beautiful. You're a beautiful human being.
You too, Doctor.
Thank you, Jose.
So much.
Thank you for your input very much.
God bless you, Doctor.
And God bless you. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you.
Okay. Please, I'm so glad we're getting multiple. I want to get each one of you to a chance to speak. So please do not hold back on it. Please, one of you speak up, and the other.
Ladies first.
That's generous. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mercy Geraldia. Thank you so much. My name is Mercy Geraldia.
Oh, Mercy.
Everyone,
dear Mercy.
Here.
Dear Mercy. Yes.
This was yeah, that was a beautiful talk. It really goes in deep about generosity and how both ways how to go about it. The Bible also teaches us it's always best to give than it is to receive. I feel that way. When you do give, you feel much better. There's something that starts in you that makes you feel better. Unlike when you're always receiving.
Well,
so that's
Mercy, that's so beautiful. I see you as a very generous person. Even your smile is generous. It's so giving. The way just who you are is an embodiment of generosity. I see that in you, Mercy. Don't think I don't see it. I do see it.
Thank you.
And when it says in all the holy scriptures of all religions, it's better to give than to receive. That's from a spiritual point of view. That's true. And to the extent the person is spiritual, they're much more likely, if they're truly spiritual, they're going to be more generous. That goes with it. Spirituality, true spirituality. Spirituality deep within the heart definitely goes with generosity. Absolutely goes together. Thank you, dear Mercy, for bringing that point up.
Thank you for everybody for speaking. We learn from each other. So, and I like about the person that asked about a coworker who she doesn't. So that's like it happens to most of us. I know it has happened to me, and that was a beautiful thing to hear how to deal with that.
Let me tell you something.
without letting people walk all over you.
Let me tell you something. Sometimes the best thing to do is to report that person to a supervisor or file a complaint. Sometimes that's the most generous thing to do. You don't want to do it. And I'll tell you why. It's generous because you're giving that person an opportunity to be corrected, to realize what they are like that. That's not an honorable way to live. Sometimes people have to just go through hardship, setbacks. It certainly applies to me. I've had some pretty bad things happen to me in my life, and I needed it. It was a wake-up call. I needed it. So sometimes the generous thing to do is to just file a report to a supervisor, and if it's severe enough, to the police. If it's at that level, to the police. Not because you're a rat. It's because you want to help that person correct themselves, and you're not in a position to do it. So some people say, "Oh, I don't squeal. I'm not a rat." Well, no. I understand that ethic. I totally understand. But sometimes that's the most generous thing you could do for somebody, because otherwise they're going to go on their whole lives doing this thing, abusing other people, being a bully, and nobody's going to stand up. You have to find some way of standing up for that person's sake, not just for your sake, for their sake. That's a tough concept for many people, by the way. What I'm saying right now is a tough concept. But sometimes the generous thing to do is to report somebody. Sometimes that's the case. Try talking to the person first. Say, "Hey, when you're doing this, I feel disrespected, I feel humiliated, I feel hurt. Appreciate if you can talk more kindly to me. Let's go out for coffee, let's talk about this." Then you see it's not getting anywhere. You say, "Well, I have to go, or this person has to go." Then you make your steps. And believe me, you have to be very generous to the person, because there are people who need to be protected from themselves. Some people, for instance, need to be locked up. They're a danger to society. That's a big danger to their own spirit, to their own soul, when they're violating other people. So some people get violent in society. The best thing for that person is to be taken out of the community, rehabilitated, before they turn into society. That's very generous. Very generous. You take them out. It's not only generous to society, it's generous to that person, because that person needs help in correcting these very dishonorable behaviors. They need help. Well, we all need help. I've needed help in my life, believe me. I had a felony in my life. I've talked about it in many of my videos. And the FBI came in, the OIG, ICE, Homeland Security, had some issues with the federal government. And I've had some people say to me, "I think this person was the rat. I think this is the one who squealed on you." I said, "You know what? I want to kiss that person if they did it, because I needed to be stopped." And I'm very grateful to that person, because I wanted to stop. So I said I needed that help. And I'm telling you, they came at me with guns out. And wonderful. I needed that. I wasn't going to stop. That's the truth. I needed that intervention. To me, it was a divine intervention. So I don't look at the person as a rat. I look at that person as an angel. Everybody said, "Oh, that person squealed on you." Well, that's an angel to me. Helped protect me from myself. I needed to stop doing what I was doing. I had trouble stopping. And I was given an angel. So that's a different view of it. It's a different thing. "Oh, you're a rat, a squealer." No, I saw what it did for me, and sometimes that's some way you can help some other people. You're not doing that out of anger or want to punish the person. You can be an angel, might require doing that. I know it's a very different presentation of it, but I'm telling you what I'm saying is true. You're never going to hear this from somebody else. I've been through it, because I had them come at me with guns. Yeah. The fact my indictment read the United States Civil Government versus Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. So I had that. And I always tell people I wouldn't be half the man I am today if I wasn't a felon who repented. So it was a great thing for me, given I repented. So sometimes that's required. That's the best thing you could do sometimes. Report the person, get somebody. And the authorities may or may not do anything. HR, supervisor, the manager may not do anything. But you might say, "Well, honor demands that I help this person by reporting them." Not out of vengeance. I mean, the person needs the help. different motive. Yeah.
Doctor,
Yes, you.
has any of your patients' life gotten worse since they went into the honor system?
No, nobody's life that I know
Okay.
has gotten worse. Was gotten worse since being in the honor program, to my knowledge.
So they have received benefits for becoming more honorable.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get.
Yeah, listen, Hugh, I'm glad you said that. They get benefits, but again, I want to point out, whatever benefits come or don't come, that's besides the point. The way of honor is an end in itself. It's not like I'm going to do this because I'm going to get this benefit. No, well, you live in
Benefits are a thing that happens naturally from living the life of honor.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you that. Let me tell you something. I'm that guy. If I see a dead animal on the road, I'm the guy to pull off there. Sometimes I have to go down. I put my motorcycle. I go stop the car, and I'm trying to get somewhere. I'll get out. I'll look around for cardboard or something to move the dead squirrel, the dead cat, or whatever to the side of the road. To be honest with you, I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel bad about myself. I don't experience any benefit whatsoever. I experience it as a pain in the neck. I don't really want to do it. I don't like doing it. It's kind of disgusting. You see these animals with this pained expressions on their face. I don't like it. But honor demands doing it. Now, so I'm just being honest. My experience of it, no benefit whatsoever. Zero.
You've got a practice that is the envy of every psychologist.
Yeah, he was saying I have a
Help is as good as it's possible.
yeah. He was saying I have a great practice.
Benefit.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's from pulling those dead animals to the side of the road, and that doesn't matter to me.
But why? Why do you have all these blessings? You have blessings because you're living the life of honor.
He wants to say that I'm getting all these blessings. I live a life of honor. That could be true, and it may not be true. I mean, it could be true. I'm not going to say it's not. I'm going to say I don't know. I can only say when I do certain honorable things, sometimes it's a pain in the neck. I don't like it. I don't want to do it, but I do it. It's not like working out.
Why you don't?
Let me just finish. I say working out. I don't want to work out. Sometimes I just hate work. It's like Muhammad Ali said. He said when he's working out, he said he hated every minute of it. Muhammad Ali was called the greatest fighter of all time. Said he hated every minute of training, every minute. But he said he knew it was necessary to become a world champion, but he hated it. So you do things, doesn't mean that, you do it because you expect to get this or that. You do something, in my case, I'm honorable because honor demands it.
You don't always get a harvest where you plant a seed.
You don't always get a harvest where you plant the seed. So when you're living a life of honor, whether you get a harvest or you don't get a harvest, doesn't matter.
But you have.
Well,
Your patients have.
Well, certainly the teachings of honor, my patients benefit. I've benefited. There's no question about
I
that.
heard one person on that Zoom call say, my wife has got so much.
yeah. He was right. He's never heard anybody say my life got so much worse since I've been a doctor on a program. My life's been miserable since I joined this program. Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, that's true. Boy, I was going to get through laughing. Well, it's been my privilege, my great enjoyment to present the source of all generosity. The source of all generosity. Thank you.